There we go. Okay,
There
cool.
you go.
So I record as live, just so you know. If you do say anything where you're like, take that out, just stop and let me know, and I'll timestamp it, and then we can take it out. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah,
Cool.
usually I'm a one-take wonder.
Great. Fantastic. That's what I love to hear. Okay, Maxime Sigouin. Maybe. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
that was perfect.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. He helps people adopt a healthier lifestyle through plant-based nutrition and exercise with the world's premier leading plant-based whole food body recomposition coaching services. It's the founder of Fit Vegan Coaching, Maxime Sigouin. Welcome to the Keep On Cookin podcast, Maxime.
Thank you for having me, Dustin. Happy to be here.
Glad you're here. Let's start with your icebreaker question. Something not about food and something not about fitness. Well, it could be depending on what your answer is, of course. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
I thought about this question when you sent it to me, and I was like, I'm gonna have to go deep because I know exactly what's a superpower that I would want to have. And that would be to have the ability to turn on that switch in people's brain when they get the cancer diagnosis, when they get the heart attack, but without having the consequences of that. Because humans tend to wait till the last minute until something goes wrong before they change. So I just wish I could make them have that moment without the consequences that come with having that diagnosis, to be like, oh, maybe I should change how I eat. Maybe I should change how I live my life. That would be like the ultimate superpower for me.
That's great. That is the ultimate superpower. That is being put to the use for good, for sure.
Yeah.
Mine's just to fly. I just want to feel the breeze. I want to fly above everyone. Not to be above everyone. I just want to be like looking down and be able to get to places from like quickly, you know? Like it
Yeah.
seems like what a joy a bird has just to fly around, right?
You ever gone
Um
skydiving before?
what I have. Have you?
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
How do you feel about it? How many times have you gone?
I've done once, and that was
Once?
enough.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say, and will you do it again is the question. Because yeah, will you? Will you?
No, I wouldn't do skydiving. I did bungee jumping. I would definitely do that a bunch of times. Bungee
The
jumping
bungee
was
jumping.
fun.
Okay.
Skydiving was way too high for me. I thought I'd be fine, but once that door opened, oh man, my legs were shaking, and I was like, "This is for real."
This is for real. I was like, you're just falling. And you're like, oh, I wanted to do this. I chose to do this. I actually volunteered I paid to jump out of this plane right now. And I landed and I did like the whole video package and everything. And they're in my face with the video cameras, like, are you going to do it again? And I was like, I cannot answer that right now. I can right now, though. The answer is definitely no. I'm not doing it again. It was an experience. Where did you do it
Yeah.
at?
I did it in up in BC in Canada where I was living at the
Beautiful.
time. It
Nice.
was yeah, it was something my lead partner and I wanted to do, and so when she passed, I was like, I'm just gonna do it, and it was a very spiritual experience to a certain extent. I'm
Sure.
happy that I did it, but I 100% froze because there's a part where you have to like open your arms, and I didn't, and the guy was like tapping my shoulder, like,
Same.
dude, open your arms,
Same.
and I was just stuck like this.
Yep. Yep. And they were also trying to like take the pictures of me. And if you look at there's one picture I zoomed in on because it's very funny. The look on my face, like you see all these pictures, like, wee! I'm like, like it's
Yeah.
bad. It just doesn't look good. It was not a cute moment for me. Well, then we're not skydiving together. That's okay. You have over a decade of experience and have helped more than 800 people transition to a healthier lifestyle through your platform, Fit Vegan Coaching. You offer one-on-one coaching, online courses, and community support. You also host the Fit Vegan podcast. You're very, very busy, so I appreciate you making the time to chat today. So tell me, how did all of this begin for you with fitness?
Yeah, for fitness specifically, I've always been into fitness since I was a kid. My parents put me into, soccer. I did martial arts as well. I had a little stint in music. I played violin and played
Okay.
trombone for many years, but sports was kind of always present. And just with how my body was shaped, it was kind of natural that I would lean more towards sport, right? I'm 6'4", built very lean and athletic, so I was just naturally good at sports. So fell into basketball and then bodybuilding and powerlifting. So from a young age, basically to answer your question, I've been in sports just because of how my parents were very athletic people that always moved, and just because of how tall I was, every coach was trying to recruit me to play basketball, basically.
Yeah, so it started from when you were young and it just sort of progressed as you've gotten older. And it seems like you've taken advantage of it then to make this business out of it and help other people. That's amazing too.
Yeah, well, I've always tried new challenges. So go basketball and Ironman and long distance cycling and all of these sports. And it led me to make a ton of mistake. It led me to develop a really unhealthy relationship with exercise, really unhealthy relationship with food, which I've had to heal. And that's kind of all that experience that I brought together through the coaching program now was all my years of, yeah, failures and wins.
Okay, so sports and being athletic and fitness, always sort of part of the package. Growing, learning, healing items. And when did veganism come into play as sort of the optimal approach for you in health and wellness with all this?
Yeah, so on October 18th of 2024, I will be celebrating a decade of being vegan. And yeah, the transition was I we were coming up on 10 years, the magic number. Yeah, I was a power lifter and a bodybuilder at one point in my life. So I weighed 240 pounds. I was able to deadlift. I think my heaviest was 550
Oh my
pounds.
gosh.
Yeah, squatting 420, benching
Oh,
320. And I'm 6'4", so my joints were hurting. Even though I was
yeah.
heavy and I was big, my joints were still hurting. I have long limbs. A deadlift was like running a marathon of how far I had to go versus a short person.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and I got recruited to do high fashion modeling. I was with a friend, his agent saw me, and she was like, I see something under those big chubby cheeks. I think there's like a jawline behind there because I was all puffy at 240.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I've done bodybuilding, I've done
That's
powerlifting, I've
good.
competed. Let me just give this new thing a try. And so I was leading out for a fitness modeling competition. So you still had to be muscular, but you just needed to be leaner. And so I leaned out, I did a photo shoot, and it turned out great. I ended up booking a gig and I made some money. And at the time, I was working at Subway and I made more money in a day of shooting than working at Subway for a week. And I was like,
Yeah.
I can get paid for people to take photos of me, and all I have to do is work out. This is life. This is
Yeah.
great. And then she told me, because you're 6'4", you fall in the high fashion category because you're too tall for commercial, and you more have the physique for the runway. I was like, great, let's just do runway. She's like,
Sure.
one problem, you're still too big. So I was my chest and my back was too big. So think of wearing a suit. I was like a 42 long, and I need to be a 38.
Wow.
So that was a lot of chest and back muscle that I had to lose. And so that's what transitioned me to veganism actually. Is I went on Google and I was like, what diet's gonna give me the skinniest, the fastest? Vegan showed up. It said vegans are skinny and weak. I was like, I don't like the idea of being weak, but I just need to get skinny.
Yeah.
And so, right, disclaimer, you can be strong now and be vegan. We all know this at this point, but I didn't a decade ago.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I went vegan overnight, lost 80 pounds in my first year. A ton of that was muscle on purpose. So I
Sure.
just did cardio. I
Sure.
stopped strength training. I didn't focus on protein. I severely underate. I lost a ton of weight and I was able to fit in that 38 suit and the medium shirts that they wanted me to fit in, like a small, medium shirt.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And that, yeah, and then I was able to work in that industry. But that was like my transition to veganism.
Wow. That was not the answer I expected. I don't know what I expected, but I had no idea about the modeling history. That's amazing. What'd you call it? A medium shirt?
Yeah, medium.
You're so tall though. Was that like a crop top on you pretty much?
Hey, you know what's funny is I actually had to like lower my shoulders so that the shirt wouldn't come up too high on some of those outfits.
Yeah.
So I actually ended up getting a modeling contract in Milan in Italy. So when I flew there, the sizes were a lot smaller than like Canada and United
Ah,
States.
yeah.
And so that's when I really went hard on like 2, 3 hours of running a day. I was just eating rice. I was trying to get as skinny as possible because the look that was in season at that time was like a 12-year-old boy, skinny, druggy look. That was kind
Yeah.
of the look
Yeah.
that people that was trending that they were recruiting for. I was like, hey, I just came from bodybuilding. For me to look like a drug addict and be very skinny, that's going to be challenging. And so I did the best that I could, but I have really long limbs. My wingspan is like 6'10", but I'm 6'4".
Yeah.
So I got really long wingspan. My arms are long, my legs are long. So all the suits that I had to wear, the cuff wouldn't go all the way down. So I tried to like shrug my shoulders in so that the arm length would be great when I would go to castings. I like shrug my shoulders in, but I lowered them so that the shirt wouldn't come up too high, and then like squeeze my shoulders inside because my chest was still a little bit too big. And when you wear a
Uh-huh.
dress shirt, the buttons would kind of stretch out, and they didn't like that. So I mean, I was like arms in, shoulders down,
Yeah.
squeeze my chest like this to trying to fit, and then you trying to walk normally. It was a yeah, it was a heck of an experience.
Just contorting yourself basically for their image, what they feel it should be. It's wild, right?
Yeah,
Well, everyone, I had the pleasure of meeting Maxim in person a couple weeks ago. I want to say now, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, in DC at
yeah.
the International Conference on Nutrition and Medicine with Physicians Committee. And you all, I took a picture with him, is what I wanted to tell everyone. And usually I'm like, listen, I'm not short, I'm average. Nothing that there's wrong with being short either. But like next to you, I feel a little short. It's true. It's true. You're a tall fella.
Hey, I'm up there.
Yeah. Well, listen, break it down for our listeners. So, what is Fit Vegan coaching, and what would a typical package look like for a client then?
Yeah. So Fit Vegan coaching, like you mentioned earlier, is we focus 100% on whole food plant-based eating and body recomposition, right? And so let me just kind of tell the story a little bit behind it as to why
Please.
we do what we do. So I've alluded to it a few times already, but I lost my late partner to breast cancer over 3 years ago. And that's kind of what got me to start Fit Vegan coaching and sent me on this path of wanting to help people not end up in the same position that she was, just because, hey, if you eat whole food plant based, you're active, you have a healthy body, you're greatly reducing your risk of dealing with cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and all these health issues that we know about. And so when I created Fit Vegan, I was like, how can I embed all of these things together to help people reduce their risk? I'm like, well, exercise, whole food plant based eating, and then accountability, because people have a hard time sticking to the first two.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how everything came together. And so when people work with us, they actually get a full health team. So when I started, it was just me as
Mhm.
a trainer. But as we kind of evolved, I saw that people had to go see a doctor on one side, they had to go see a nutritionist on one side, they had a trainer on one side, but they can never get all three of those health professionals to communicate and work together on a client. And so I brought everything in house. So when you come in with us, you get blood work, we do a DEXA scan, you have a consultation with our doctor. If there's any deficiencies or any health issues, we can address them. We can also address them. You also get a nutritionist that's assigned to you, and you get a trainer that's assigned to you. And everyone works in house. Everyone's able to communicate and provide results for our members. And so, yeah, basically what we do is people come in and say, hey, I want to improve my body composition by 5 pounds, put on more lean muscle. I want to lose 20 pounds, 40 pounds, 60 pounds, 80 pounds, 100 pounds. Whatever their goal is, we're able to help them accomplish that. But the primary focus is shifting body composition and increasing bone density, right? So beating osteopenia and sarcopenia as well. And so we do that through resistance training and through the nutrition.
You're like a one-stop shop then, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
That's wild. I've explored lots of coaching programs, and I've done a few of them, and I've had coaches and all that stuff. And there is always, when I start with them, it's like, okay, this, and then you also need to go to your doctor, and this, and then this part, and then this part, and nutritionist. And so it's what a relief that somebody can come to you and get all of this in one spot. And the results are positive. I've seen your website, so you've got people with great results. Having
Over
helped over,
800.
what you said you started, yeah, I was going to say 3 years ago, and you've helped over 800 people at this point, right?
Yeah, we're 4.5 years into it, and yeah, we're over 800 people, and I think we're over 60 physicians that we've coached and
Wow.
transformed throughout the years. Also, yeah,
That's fantastic. That's great. That's so cool that it's all in one spot. To think of that, I think is pretty genius. I can't think of anyone else who's doing it. But well,
it's a
what does that look
logistical
like then?
nightmare. That's why
What's
most
that?
people don't
Did you
do it.
say logistical nightmare?
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
most people don't do it. And it's a lot of money to hire everyone in house as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But what does this look like for a client then? What is like a typical, I mean, I know like, it's different. And I know it's when that's the thing people always want to know. They talk to a coach and they're like, well, what does this look like then? Right. So I'm
Yeah,
asking
I
you
can guide
to
you.
generalize it a little bit, but I'm sure listeners need to understand that it's different for everyone, right?
Yeah, so I can talk about like kind of the general idea and kind of the guidelines, but ultimately the first step is you book a call with us on our website. It's an application call just because we guarantee every single one of our transformation, meaning if you don't see your results, we'll give you your money back or we'll continue working with you for free. And so in order for us to guarantee that, we need to have a conversation with you to see if you have realistic goals, if your health is in the right spot to be able to accomplish some of the things that you want. Then from there, you're booked in with our concierge team. They're going to get you set up on our app and our software. They'll show you how everything works. They'll book you in for your blood work and your appointment with your doctor. They'll book you in for your DEXA scan. They'll do our research ahead of time in your town to see what is the nearest center, and then we'll basically go off of your schedule. So they'll help you book everything and set you up. Then they'll book you in for your onboarding call with your coach. You do your call with your coach, you do your initial fitness test. We have a little consultation to kind of see what you want to work on with areas of difficulties, physical limitation. Your workout gets billed, your meal plan gets billed because you already had a consultation with your nutritionist as well. And then you start the program. And then once you start the program, there's 4 to 5 phases depending on people's goal, but the primary one is body recomposition. So most people that come to us want to lose fat and build lean muscle. And so we'll typically focus on that first. Once they're done phase 1, they move into phase 2, which is reverse dieting. So it's where we help people speed up the metabolism post fat loss to ensure that they don't put the weight back on. Because, for North America, 95% of people put the weight back on within 6 months to a year. For us, people keep the weight off 3 to 4 years after they've lost it. So there's no point of doing the fat loss if you're not going to do the reverse dieting.
Yeah.
After the reverse dieting, we dive into a lean muscle building phase. Just because people are a lot skinnier than they think under the fat. They lose all the weight and they're like, I thought there was more there. I was like, well, you never really done strength training before.
Sure.
And then phase 4 is maintenance phase. So we can show you how to kind of build this into your lifestyle. And then phase 5 is optional. But a lot of people are inspired by some of my background in Ironman and triathlon. And so they say, I want to run a 5K. I want to do a sprint triathlon. I want to do an Olympic distance triathlon. And so we can train them for that after. That's a typical process.
That's great. You're also keeping it, it sounds like sustainable for people. It's not just to do these 5 phases and then bye. It's kind of like, here's the tools you need to keep this sustainable for the rest of your life, which is, I think, a place where, a lot of coaches sort of do things and then it's like this promise of the future without any tools to navigate the future.
Yeah. So I always tell, I'm upfront with people. I don't care about your after photo. I care about the after photo. Like there's so many ways to get in shape, but whatever method you use is what you're going to know to use to stay that way. So if it's unsustainable and you starve yourself, you do absurd amounts of exercise, well, guess what? That's what you need to do to maintain it. And so can we do it sustainably? Get you to have a nice after photo, but can I get you to look like the after photo 4 years after? That's the real goal, right?
Yep. I love that. That's great. Well, this is a podcast on food, so let's get into it. You have an ebook that your clients get called 100 Fit Vegan Recipes to Get You Fit, but also everybody, this is available. Maxime's going to make it available for you. So you were generous to share this with me so I could get a look into what the food looks like. Now, I'm holding up a copy of it because I love having physical copies of books in my kitchen. So I have a printed copy of it. And it's great. I've cooked some stuff from here and I picked a few others that I'll definitely make as well. And I'd love to know what your go-tos are in this. So we'll go through it a bit. When you're looking at breakfast, what is a staple for you?
Usually an oatmeal or a smoothie for breakfast. It just makes it easy. Just like most people that we work with, or like yourself, like you're busy in the morning. I don't have time to make something very complex. And so a lot of time we'll focus on like an overnight oats or just like a nice little easy smoothie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. You've got this blueberry tofu pudding in here that my husband really likes. And everybody, it's so simple. It's just silken tofu, blueberries, chia seeds, maple syrup, lemon juice, vanilla extract. It's creamy, it's light, it's satisfying. It's everything you want for breakfast. Always have my eye on anything with avocado. So you have an edamame avocado toast. I love using edamame to get that pop of protein. And you have some great pancakes in here as well. Some pancake recipes. I love a good pancake. You've got the fluffy flax pancakes. They look like perfection. I love the photo in here. And for your clients who use your recipes, what have you seen in this that they gravitate towards more in forms of recipes from this book for breakfast? What's a recipe from here that they gravitate towards when they're doing your program?
Honestly, the edamame avocado one is a big one. I guess think let's say a millennial thing, because a lot of people we work with are between 45 and 75. And so
Sure.
I don't think that falls within the millennial range, but yeah, they usually will like the avocado one for breakfast. There's I was trying to see what it's called. I'm trying to pull it up. Yeah, the brownie batter protein ball. So again, we work with a lot of physicians and moms and people that are on the go. So the brownie batter protein ball, I don't know if you try to make that one, but it
No, but I
is
want to now.
delicious. Yeah, it's so good. It's dates, black beans, a little bit
Yeah.
of vegan protein powder, pumpkin seed butter, sea salt, cacao powder, dark chocolate chips. If you're feeling fancy, but usually that's a good one. And then the silken tofu with the blueberry, that's another good one that's popular.
Yeah, I'm into it. I've got a list here though going. I got Fit Vegan Cherry Oats on here. Fit Vegan Cherry Oats with protein. You've got a couple tofu scrambles in here, which I love because to me a tofu scramble is easy, but some people are just miffed at the idea of it. So you've broken things down here, made it very easy for people to attack a tofu scramble. Carrot cake overnight oats. I'm always a fan of that. We got that in here too. For snacks, now I'm looking at this one. There's a peanut tempeh and purple cabbage slaw. I don't know if it's so much a snack or a slide. I would keep it, or a side. I said slide or a slide. Like, what a slide. Snack or a side. I would keep it for a little snack for myself, a little something. I love the textures of having tempeh and the red slaw in there. So I think it's a nice one to have on hand. We mentioned edamame before, and you've got an edamame hummus in here that's oil-free, great source of protein with 17 grams per serving. So is everything oil-free in here?
Predominantly, I would say like 98% of the recipes are going to be oil free in there. And one thing you're like, I don't know if people are noticing the pattern, but a lot of the things will have a higher protein content in the recipe simply because we're, putting an emphasis on improving body composition. And it does matter to a certain extent to just to bump up the protein content a little bit more. So that's why I notice a lot of
Sure.
tofu and tempeh. We'll have some sprouted oats and some of the things, some chia seeds. And we're always going to try to increase the content. Like specifically that peanut butter tempeh one, a lot of our members will have it like as a side dish or to increase the protein content of another dish. Because you're right, the
Perfect.
texture on it is really good.
Yeah, and beautiful. I love anything with purple cabbage. I mean, red cabbage, but let's be real, it's purple cabbage. Everybody, it's purple. We can all agree it's purple. It's purple. So I love anything with it because I just think it always looks so gorgeous. When we're looking at oil-free, I do a balance of both. I do a lot of oil-free and I love it. I know my reasons for it. So do you want to share with our listeners why? What'd you say, 98% or so you said is oil-free in the book? So why oil-free on your end? What is that? What is the benefit of oil-free when we're cooking?
Yeah, so for a lot of people to look at it from a health standpoint, for on our side, we're looking to improve people's body composition. So meaning we have to be in a calorie deficit if we want to accomplish that outcome. And it's 100 calories per tablespoon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a waste of energy just to add a tablespoon of oil. And let's be honest, you're not going to add just one. Right? You've
Sure.
seen those videos where they just like dump oil in a pan and they measure
Yeah.
after, and it's
Yeah.
like 6 tablespoons. That's
Yeah.
600 calories that you
Yep.
just drench for one meal.
Yeah.
And so it's more of like a calorie saving thing in terms of the recipe. But I'll be upfront that when I am doing a muscle building phase and I have to be in a calorie surplus, I can't stand the amount of food that I have to consume to
Sure.
be in that state.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm gonna throw in some oil. I'm gonna throw in some avocado, a bunch of
Yeah.
nuts and seeds, and almond butter because I just can't stomach that much food to be in
Yeah.
that phase. So
Yeah.
oils come in handy, but yeah, it's a waste of calories when you're trying to lose weight.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, we're looking at items for lunch. There's a maple mustard kale salad with crispy tofu. Again, listeners, it's so simple with just about 8 ingredients to bring this flavorful, colorful, nutrient dense bowl to the table. And for you for lunch, let's say when you're at home, you're not traveling, you're in your routine, what is something you might normally have for lunch?
The peanut butter tempeh with some rice, honestly, and some
Yeah.
cabbage. Like I'm very basic. I am in no means yeah, I'm not a master chef. I can't do it at your level that you're doing it. So for me, the dishes have to be really simple, like the ones in the book. The creamy pasta with kale and no oil because it's chickpea pasta. It bumps
Yeah.
up the protein content. Like that's a quick and easy one to make. A lot of dishes in there will take like 20 minutes to make. They don't take
Yep.
too long. And so
No, you've got
even
great
if
stuff in
you
here. It's funny you said that about but keep when I go to cook meal prep, sometimes I have to like peel myself, but I'm like, calm down, dude. Like, you just make some vegetables and tofu. It does not have to be like this involved. It's going to be delicious. It's going to be fine. Because I get carried away, and then hours have gone away, and I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to spend that much time on meal prep.
Yeah.
That can be like one of the things that get in the way when you're trying to stay in your routine and keep things, just aligned with meal prep and all of that. Is you overdo it. You just try and overachieve when you're meal prepping, when you can have some simple basic recipes that are going to be absolutely delicious and get you to the finish line in the way that you need. So I said, you're at home, you're in your routine. That's what you would have. Let's flip that, because I know you travel a lot. So when you're on the road, little access to a kitchen, what's something you might turn to for a healthful lunch that is easily accessible?
Yeah, my answer might sound depressing to a lot of people, but I have my little portable Ninja blender,
I do
and so
too.
I'll just buy some like soy milk and I'll put it
Yep.
in there, a banana and a bit of protein powder and a handful of spinach, and then that's it. If I'm stuck and I can't cook anything, that's usually what I'll go for. I've been tracking my calories for like a decade now. So to me, it takes me 5 minutes per day.
Yep.
It's very fast. So right now I'm in a body recomposition phase. I'm leaning out. So when I travel to Washington, my
Yeah.
calories are lower. And so to me, I'll have a protein smoothie every day. And then I'll have a meal centered around a tofu with some veggies. And then for dinner, I'm just going to have the bulk of my calories there, because then I get to eat out, with people, fruitive, or the food that was at
Yeah.
PCRM.
Sure.
And so I don't really have to worry too much. So a staple is like a block of tofu or a block of tempeh. If I can't cook, I'll buy those what is it called? It's like a teriyaki smoked
Oh,
tofu.
I know what you're talking about, in the vacuum sealed package already.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
exactly. And
Yeah.
genuinely, I'm gonna buy a bag of spinach and eat a handful of it and eat the tofu raw, and that's gonna be a meal if I'm on the go.
I've done the same thing. I've done that Ninja blender. Have you ever, first of all, great blender. That's not a plug for Ninja blenders, but it's a nice travel blender. But have you
Yeah.
ever accidentally unscrewed the base while there was smoothie in it?
No, I haven't done
Because
that yet.
it's
No, I
attached.
I've
You know what
I
I'm
thought
talking
about
about,
it.
how it's attached to the base, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I unscrewed that, full smoothie was in it, thinking like, oh, I'm just unscrewing this. I'm going to take the cup with me. I don't know what I was thinking. It went everywhere all over my hotel room. It was terrible. I had to go to the front desk and I had to be like, look, nobody got sick. I cleaned up as much as I could. I'm extremely sorry. It's just a green smoothie, but it does not look cute.
yeah,
I was very apologetic. They were like, "It's okay. Thank you for telling us." I was like, I did the best I could, but there's still some more to clean up. It was terrible. The blender's great. Just don't unscrew the base, everybody.
yeah,
Well, we've got lots of great items in here loaded with tempeh and tofu and vegetables. There's a veggie stir fry, maple parsnip and tofu bowl, one pan paprika with tofu. I love a one pan meal, grilled taco seasoned tempeh and veggie skewers, and marinated mixed bean salad. A few salads I want to shout out here. We've got a peach farro and lentil salad, grapefruit and fennel quinoa salad, and a snap pea white bean radish and arugula salad. Now you got some fun pastas in here. What's you mentioned one pasta already. So what's a favorite pasta dish of yours? Maybe it was that one.
yeah. That is the main one. That is the main one that I enjoy. Yeah, and honestly, like obviously, we'll cook a lot outside of the recipes that are on there, but just a chickpea pasta. We'll have
Yeah.
some. I can never say it properly. Rose tomato sauce. Rose tomato
Rouse, I think.
RAO.
Rouse, maybe. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, we'll just do that with some TVP, some sautéed mushrooms, bell
Sure.
peppers, and onion and garlic, and then that's just a quick and easy dinner right there.
What I love about pasta too is everybody, it's a great way to just toss all your veggies in there. Just get yourself
Yeah,
a
you can't
good
taste it.
serving of veggies in there. Yeah. Was that the grilled zucchini and chickpea pasta?
No, it wasn't that one, but that's another
Okay.
good one.
Yeah, I've
Yeah, so
had my
usually
eye on
we'll
that one because of summer.
yeah.
Some
Yeah,
zucchini.
you
Yeah.
can't go wrong with zucchini. We don't have a grill here, unfortunately. Just that we travel so much and we're in LA in and out, and I'm like, I don't want to spend a bunch of money to
Yeah.
kind of
Oh, for
get all
sure.
this stuff and not use it. But
Yeah.
yeah, if you grill a good zucchini, some eggplants on there, yeah, so
Yeah.
good.
Well, in this pasta, so that's the grilled zucchini chickpea pasta. It's got 7 ingredients, everybody. So you're really making cooking easy and approachable. You've got a tofu and summer vegetable red curry. And one of my favorites always is a buckwheat noodle dish. So it's the buckwheat noodles with raw puttanesca. So I did just say you're making cooking easy for people. I'm sure you have clients that are resistant to cooking. How do you
Yeah.
navigate that, or what tips or tools do you have for someone who is resistant to cooking?
Yeah, so I asked them how much money they have if they want to hire a private chef or do a meal delivery service. Hey, at the end of the day, the food needs to be prepped somewhere, right? So,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with Whole Harvest. That's a
Yeah.
company we partnered with. They're
Yep.
whole food plant based.
Are they back up
Over
and delivering again?
no, I think October is
Okay.
their game plan.
That's
They're
great.
actually I'm getting food from them today because they want me to test a bunch of their new stuff and
Great.
give them some feedback. But yeah, we partnered with Whole Harvest when it was open, so a lot of our clients ordered from them because again, they're physicians, entrepreneurs, they're parents that like to have a busy schedule, so they can't always cook something.
Yeah.
So we have a company we partnered with that kind of meets our standard of cleanliness in terms of nutrition and whole food plant based. I have some clients that I personally coach. Again, this is a little bit more on the high end side, but they hired private chefs for their household, and so we are just in communication with their private chef to be like, hey,
Great.
here's a meal plan, here's what he needs to eat, here's food for his wife and his kids,
Yep.
and so the private chef can kind of just prepare everything. I used to have someone come to my house and cook meals. Found her off of Craigslist, got her to do a criminal background check before she came in my house. But she prepared food for us because she wasn't like a chef. She just liked
Sure.
cooking, and it was cheaper
Sure.
than hiring a chef.
Yeah.
So I did a little criminal background check, but yeah, cook the food. But at the end of the day, you see a lot of the recipes in the book. They're so simple. They're so easy to make, and the
Yeah.
longer you eat this way, the more easily you can just open the door to your fridge and be like, "Oh,
Mhm.
put this and this together," and then
Yep.
it's done. It takes you 10 minutes, and the food is ready.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Especially things like when you are using dishes with tofu and tempeh. If those items are new to people and they just cook a few of these recipes, then they're going to start going, oh, I did that one thing with tempeh. Maybe I can try this. I'm always trying to tell people, like, once you sort of learn, this is life. Like, once you sort of learn the rules in something, then you get to break them. That's the best part. You get to break them so you can start cooking, specifically when I talk about cooking, but like you can start cooking stuff that's more authentic to you and things that you think might taste good. And along the way, you might have some failures, but that's where we learn, right? You're like, oh,
I've messed up a lot of dishes for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, that's like the whole point of it, right? I don't suggest like experimenting with food when you're super hungry, but then you got to make something you're going to enjoy. Well, I think that's good advice though. And Whole Harvest, everybody, it is great. I'm glad that they're going to be back up and running. It's something I've recommended to a lot of people because, like you said, it's clean. Which I mean, I think clean, I'm using quotes, air quotes, that the word clean eating has gotten all sorts of forms of definitions these days,
Yeah.
but to me, Whole Harvest actually embodies that. It's whole foods. It's isn't it no oil, no salt, and it's all like vegetables and grains essentially, right?
Yeah, so it's unprocessed. They
Yeah.
do have some dishes where they'll have a little bit of oil or salt, but they clearly label it on their website which
Got
ones
it.
are SOS free and which ones aren't. Personally, I have no issues with salt. I
Sure.
add a ton of salt to my food. I had a conversation with Dr. Frank Sabatino about this on my show, and I was like, "Yeah, I understand this whole movement, but I train like an athlete, and a lot of our members work out hard and they sweat.
Yeah.
I just played basketball for 2 hours, and I had to literally lick salt to get rid of my headache and to not feel
Mm-hmm.
dizzy.
Yep.
And so there's a balance of how hard you're exercising and needing some electrolytes, and he agreed with me on it, which it's
Yeah,
the first
I
time I
don't
got
go
to agree
salt
with me.
free either. Yeah, I don't go salt free either. And like I said, with the oil, it's kind of like a balance. That's the thing too, everybody listening. It's your balance. What are you doing in life? Like, if you have a coach, like, I don't know, Fit Vegan Coaching, you can talk to them and start to figure out what's right for you. That's the best part about being able to work with somebody who's an expert in the field.
Yeah. I
Uh,
I'd like to add something to
yeah,
that, because Neil was talking at the conference. He's like, "Is this less worse than this option?" Right? We've had people come into the program and they're like, "I'm going to be whole food plant based and SOS free," and then they had a meal where I believe there was a little bit of oil or a little bit higher fat content on it, and they're like, "Well, I'm not going to eat it because it's not whole food plant based and SOS free." And they turn around and they go eat some deep fried food. And I'm like, that was a worse decision than eating the meal that we gave you with avocado. And
yeah,
so sometimes people get too attached to labels, like, well, I can't do it perfectly, so let me just go completely on this other side. So is this less worse than the other option that
Yeah.
is available? Then that is the best option in that moment.
Yep. It's that all or nothing approach that we get stuck in as humans. I'm guilty of it. I do it too. I mean, I wouldn't do that one necessarily, but because I get it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I very often will be like, oh, well, I can't do the thing. So I'm just going to go the complete opposite way, as opposed to like, well, I could get halfway there and still be a little bit more healthful, make a better choice, than as opposed to
Yeah.
the worst choice.
Yeah. There's no Buddha bowl in the menu. I'm gonna eat a full pizza. I think that's
Right.
a good
Right.
alternative.
Bless. Well, we're looking at smoothies next in here. You got a ton of great smoothies in here. I'm pretty standard in my smoothie game. Sounds like we're similar in that, I tend to go with some greens. But this book here, I like it when a book has a lot of smoothies because it allows me lets me shake it up a little bit. And there's lots of ways to do that in here with the butternut squash smoothie, peanut butter chickpea smoothie, oatmeal cookie smoothie,
That's a good
mango
one.
lime smoothie, and even a pumpkin pie smoothie. Listeners, get into it. Maxime, if you weren't doing the basic smoothie, what's a favorite smoothie for you?
My go-to, those are like if I want to get fancy with it, right? Those are usually
Right.
the get
Right.
fancy with it smoothies. But honestly, for me, it's banana, mixed frozen berries, 2 cup of unsweet almond milk, and like a scoop of plant-based protein powder and a handful of spinach. That's on repeat. That's literally what it is.
Same. Very good. Well, what does a typical healthful day of eating look like in terms of recipes from this book? So, if we're looking at like a breakfast, a lunch, a dinner, and then maybe a snack, what might you choose from here to fuel yourself for the day?
Yeah, like you could do the carrot cake overnight oats for breakfast. And then I train in the morning. So I would probably just train in the morning and have a smoothie, like a peanut butter chickpea smoothie after. And then probably have like the pasta with the kale for lunch. And then dinner, probably just one of the Buddha bowls with the tofu.
Nice.
And yeah, just keep it. Usually I'll eat 3 meals a day in a smoothie. Keep it pretty straightforward. Calories are lower right now, so I'm a bit more cautious with kind of
Sure.
where I allocate them, so I'm not too hungry by the time I go to bed.
Yep.
But yeah, that would probably be an even split: 3 meals and then a smoothie.
So no brownie batter. What are they? Brownie batter?
They're good, but they're high in calories,
I was
and
gonna
they're
say you
just
can't have them right now.
currently not worth it. Yeah, maybe when
Yeah,
I
yeah,
when
yeah.
I get higher in my calories on my reverse diet, they are. But right now, they yeah. Again, I'm doing a little cut until October 18th for my 10 year of being vegan because I want to do a little photo shoot. I have some physical challenges that I've given to my for myself, and so after that, we'll start re-adding them.
Great. All right. The brownie batter is in your future. Well, everybody, that, my friends, is a glimpse into 100 fit vegan recipes that are available when you work with Maxim and also for free. And his team with Fit Vegan Coaching, you can get that. Then we're going to get into your rapid fire round of questions. Are you ready, Max?
Let's do it.
Here we go. What's your favorite protein powder?
Nutrigasm.
I've never heard of that. I'm going to have to look it
Uh,
up.
it's a uh, it's a company that I invested in because it's a really good friend of mine that started it. I was a part of version 1.0 of the company back in Canada, and
Okay.
then the world wasn't ready for it because it was like literally too clean. It tasted very healthy,
I'm writing
and so
it
they
down.
came out with version 2.0, and it's called Nutrigasm, cleanest list of ingredients. And I invested in them, so it's not like a partnership that I have with them. Like I
Yeah.
put my own money in there. Yeah.
Right. Favorite pasta?
Oh, what is it called? It's like boom something, like boom chickpea or boom boom something.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of what it is either. All
Yeah,
right.
it's yeah, they sent me boxes and I was like, man, this is good. And we continued buying it after they sent it our way.
If I can find it, I will put it in the intro of this episode so we know. Hot sauce or barbecue sauce?
Oh, barbecue sauce. I'm
Mm.
such a white boy when it comes to spices. I can't deal with it.
What's the most used app on your phone?
Ooh, the most honestly probably damn, my calendar for sure to look at
Yeah.
my next meeting. That's probably the most used one.
Yep. Favorite city to eat in?
Oh, That's tough. So I live in LA. I have a lot of great vegan restaurants, but I just went to New York for a vacation, and oh boy,
Yeah.
we went to that restaurant called Anixi. I don't know if you've ever been
Uh-huh.
before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh shit, that
It was
turned
great.
my world around. So I
Yeah, I
would have
love
to
it.
say New York just for that restaurant specifically. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good. Anixi, everybody in New York City, very, very good. Mediterranean. Do I have that right? Am I thinking of the right place then?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, how many hours of sleep? Now, this isn't a general how many hours of sleep is good sleep. How many hours of sleep do you need, Maxim, to be at your best?
8.
There you go. Favorite
I'm
date night
I'm in
activity?
bed. Yes, I'm in bed for 9 and I sleep 8 usually. I lose an hour.
That's great. I want 8. I tend to wake up around 7. So, but I want 8
That's still
really
good.
bad. Yeah, 7's still good, but I really want 8. What's your favorite date night activity with Ivy?
Honestly, just go play pool and go eat at Joy Cafe or Mac and Sushi. Just yeah,
Love it.
play pool. Ivy's good at pool. She crushes it.
Listen, I just met y'all, but that does not surprise me.
Yeah.
I can see it. I can see it. Favorite food protein source?
Probably tofu for sure.
Most
Do so much
used
with it.
emoji on your phone?
Uh, Probably the plant emoji. I abuse that one.
I think I know this one now because I think you said it, but what's your favorite time of day to work out?
Morning.
Most frequently asked question from your clients?
Uh, how can I eat all this food?
Huh?
It's a genuine problem. They come in for fat loss and they're like, I can't eat all the food. I'm like, you're trying to lose 40 pounds. This is a beautiful problem to have, but it's
Yeah.
so high volume when it's whole food, right? So yeah, how can I
Yep.
eat all this food?
Yep. And your last one, dream location for a fit vegan coaching retreat.
Oh man, I love Europe. I would say Mexico because I used to live in Mexico. I love Mexico. So for sure,
Beautiful.
Mexico.
That's great. That's great. Well, there you have it. Maxim, where can people go online to learn more about fit vegan coaching?
Yeah, fitvegancoaching.com. If you go on YouTube, you type it, it will show up as well. And yeah, we have the Fit Vegan podcast. So those would be kind of the main places.
Awesome. And on socials, what are people looking for? Is it at Fit Vegan Coaching or where should they find you on there?
No, it's my name. So it'd be if you just type Maxim S_official, it will show up. But
Great.
honestly, if you go on YouTube or podcast, it's all linked in there. It makes
It's
it
all
easier.
there. All right, good. And don't forget, you can get a dose of Maxon and all the knowledge he has to share. Like he said on his podcast, Fit Vegan Podcast, helping people stay strong and lean anywhere you listen to podcasts. Maxim, thanks for spending some time with me today. I'm glad you could join me.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and we'll book you in for the Fit Vegan podcast so we can have you on.
I'm ready. Great. Awesome. Perfect. Cool. All work for you?
Natural. Yeah, that was great, man. That was perfect.
Good. Next thing I'll need, if I can email you, but because I'm sure you'll need someone from your team to send it to me. I just need like your preferred headshot. And we'll use that to promote it with a thumbnail when it's ready. It should be ready in the next couple months, I would imagine. It's like one of the things on my list to get to, but I'm officially after this today. I'm not doing anything for like a week, which hasn't happened in like a year. So the time has come.
That's perfect, man. Well, Ivy and I are leaving on Saturday. We're going to Hawaii for a honeymoon for 10 days.
Great.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be completely offline. So what I'll do is I'll send an email and I'll CC my operations manager and my
Great.
manager. My manager will book you in for my show, and
Perfect.
then we'll get you to headshot, and then my operations manager will create a full like lead magnet page basically for your audience to download the ebook.
Awesome. That's great. Perfect. Well, have a great time in Hawaii. Where are you guys going in Hawaii?
We're going to the Big Island,
Great.
which we didn't know there was a hurricane there until someone told us. I paid for everything. I didn't even look at the weather, and someone's like, "There's a hurricane happening."
Right now, is there
But
one?
yeah, but it's going to be done by Saturday, I think, by the time we get there. So it should be
Okay.
fine.
All right. Good. All right. Well, hopefully everything is safe then, and you guys have the best trip ever.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Of course. So I'll talk to you later then.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.